I'm muted. Excuse me. Oh. Oops. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Greetings, thralls. Greetings, everyone. Now keep in mind. Oh, I also forgot to turn captions on. Oops. Now keep in mind. Uh, if you have anything to tell me in chat, say it now, because I will not be able to read chat while reading the story. Uh, yeah. Thank you for coming, Alpax. And I understand, so I will be sleeping this so it benefits me. That's perfectly fine. I consider people sleeping to my streams a compliment, because I think that means that it's calming to them. Yeah. I randomly came across one short, and I adore the pastel color scheme of the model. I am a little bit confused about claiming it's a pastel color scheme, because it isn't pastel like light colors, which I guess that does apply to like the front of my hair and the blouse and the cravat. But the jacket is navy blue. And the back of the hair is black. Well, it's the style of pastel crayons. I'm unsure if that makes more sense. I might need to take a look. Like, look up at which you mean by that. Yeah. Might be waiting until more people come by. I don't really know if I want to wait for long, though, since it's just a reading stream. I usually like streaming for like about an hour or two. So if it turns out I get finished with the story, but I still have some time on my hands, I may try to transition this into a little bit of a drawing stream, which is also going to be more like relaxed, because I'm sure reading the story is gonna mess up my throat a little bit. Like, I don't know if pastel crayons is more of an Australian thing, but the style and depth of the colors in the model looks like they are drawn with crayons, which water crayons are pastel. Okay. Yeah. I don't know if you're, like, talking about a specific brand of crayons, because, I mean, it sounds like it could be a Crayola gimmick, but... I did want the model to come off a bit more hand-drawn looking. Crayola are common with pastel, obviously. Okay. Yeah, I have not messed with crayons in forever because, well, I don't have them anymore. Crayons aren't really the first thing on my art supply list anymore as an adult. Yeah. I did want it to come off a bit more hand-drawn, though I think my intention was more so like a storybook looking kind of thing. Yeah, the model is honestly stunning. There's no better way to put it. My drawing is trying to be done more digitally, which is difficult. Yeah, There's a little bit of a learning curve, even if you already know how to draw traditionally, when it comes to like digital art and stuff. I think I may just start in like a second here. I suppose I could, uh, especially because I like doing art with the mouse, which is fun for certain things, but definitely not helpful when drawing renders of games, especially 2D platformers. Oh, just like renders of games, like sprites. What kind of? Oh, I mean, trying to draw terrarium models for fun using a mouse is terrible. I mean, I think you're talking about pixel art, which personally speaking, I've always found making pixel art with a mouse more easy than with a tablet. But I think that's because I feel like anytime I try to make something with pixel art using a tablet, I try too hard to draw the way I normally draw. Yeah. I'm glad we let you. I might just be uncontrollably shaky when doing art. That's probably why I struggle. Yeah. Uh, yeah. Yesterday I was working on a painting and I was trying to like fill in like these really small spots using a paintbrush, and you have to hold your hand really still. So I was like one hand holding the paintbrush and another hand holding the arm that was holding the paintbrush to try and keep it still. Oh, painter's curse. Huh? I don't even actually paint that often. The only reason I'm trying to now is because I thought it would be a more interesting piece to look at uh, for a Halloween art show that I'm supposed to submit to. Well, I guess I'm not supposed to, but I want to. How is the audio, by the way? Because I thought for whatever reason it keeps messing up on me and sounding like kind of fuzzy on my end, and I'm kind of sick of messing with the audio. It's completely fine on my end. There's no fuzz. Okay, that's good. Well, well, it's been a bit. I don't think anyone else is going to come by soon, so I think I'm going to go ahead and. Well, first of all, oh, wait, well, and I need to readjust myself. Yeah, as I mentioned, I do live in Australia. I love natural beauty and hate the spiders. I don't think I would ever be able to move to Australia. Um, anyway, welcome to the library or the reading room. This is where I'm going to do reading streams. uh, I know I I don't recall. This is actually beautiful. Thank you. Kind of. A lot of it is just pre-made assets. Like of all of the things that is present in this reading room here. The only two things I have drawn is my model and is the book in front of me. The rest of it is free to use assets that I found on Booth or Okamono. Because I am not good at graphical design. If it's the vibe and story of the character. Thank you. Thank you. I did want to at least make sure that the assets I used fit what I was going for. Oh, I do not usually get this up early in the morning. All right. I'm going to start reading now because I am impatient. Well, it is officially sleepy time today, so you can begin when you are ready. Okay. Yeah. Uh, all right. How He Left the Hotel by Louisa Baldwin. I used to work the passenger lift in the Empire Hotel, that big block of building in lines of red and white, brick like streaky bacon, that stands at the corner of street. I'd served my time in the army and got my discharge with good conduct stripes, and how I got the job was in this way. The hotel was a big company affair with a managing committee of retired officers and such like. Gentlemen with bit o' money in the concern, and nothing to do but fidget about it, and my late colonel was one of 'em. He was as good-tempered a man as ever stepped when his will wasn't crossed. And when I asked him for a job, "Mull," says he, "you're the very man to work the lift at our big hotel. Soldiers are civil and businesslike, and the public like 'em only best sailors. We've had to give our last man the sack, and you can take his place." I liked my work well enough, and my pay, and kept my place a year, and should have been there still if it hadn't been for a circumstance. But don't let me anticipate. Ours was a hydraulic lift, none o' rickety things, swung up like a poll parrot's cage, and a Wilk staircase that I shouldn't care to trust my neck to. It ran as smooth as oil, a child might have worked it, and safe as standing on the grounds, instead of being stuck full of advertisements like an omnibus. We'd mirrors in it, and the ladies would look at themselves and pat their hair, and set their mouths, when I was taking 'em downstairs dressed of an evening. It was a little sitting room, with red velvet curtains to sit down on, and you'd nothing to do but get into it, and it'd float you up or float you down light as a bird. All the visitors used the lift one time or another, going up or coming down. Some of them was French, and they called the lift a censor, and good enough for them in their language, no doubt. But why the Americans, that can speak English when they choose, and are always finding out ways of doing things quicker than other folks, should waste time and breath calling the lift an elevator, I can't make out. I was in charge of the lift from noon till midnight. By that time, the theater and dining out folk had come in, and anyone returning late walked upstairs, for my day's work was done. One of the porters worked the lift till I come on duty in the morning. But before 12 there was nothing particular going on, and not much till after 2 o'clock. Then it was pretty hot work, with visitors going up and down constant, and the electric bill ringing you from one floor to another like a house on fire. Then there came a quiet spell while dinner was on, and I'd sit down comfortable in the lift and read my paper, only I mightn't smoke. But nobody else might neither, and I had to ask furrin gentlemen to please not smoke in it. It was against the rule. I had so often to tell English gentlemen They're not like foreigners that seem as if their cigars was glued to their lips. I always notice faces as folks got into the lift, for I've sharp sight and good memory, and none of the visitors need to tell me twice where to take them. I knew them, and I knew their floor as well as they did themselves. It was November. It was in November that Colonel Saxby came to the Empire Hotel. I noticed him particularly because you could see at once that he was a soldier. He was a tall, thin man, about 50, with a hawk nose, keen eyes, and a gray mustache, and walked stiff from a gunshot wound in the knee. But what I noticed most was the scar of a saber cut across the right of his face. As he got into the lift to go to his room on the 4th floor, I thought what a difference there is among officers. Colonel Saxby put me in the mind of a telegraph post for height and thinness, and my old colonel was like a barrel in uniform, but a brave soldier and a gentleman all the same. Colonel Saxby's room was number 210, just opposite the glass door leading to the lift, and every time I stopped on the 4th floor, number 210 stared me in the face. The colonel used to go up in the lift every day regular, though he never came down in it, till... But okay, let me take that again. The colonel used to go up in the lift every day regular, though he never came down in it till. But I'm coming to that presently. Sometimes, when he was alone in the lift, he'd speak to me. He'd ask me in what regiment I served, and said he knew the officers in it. But I can't say he was comfortable to talk to. There was something standoff about him, and he always seemed deep in his own thoughts. He never sat down in the lift. Whether it was empty or full, he stood bolt upright under the lamp, where the light fell on his pale face and scarred cheek. One day in February, I didn't take the colonel up in the lift, as he was irregular as clockwork. I noticed it. I supposed he'd gone away for a few days, and I thought no more about it. Whenever I stopped on the 4th floor of door 2... Let me take that one again. Whenever I stopped on the 4th floor, the door of 210 was shut, and as he often left it open, I made sure the colonel was away. At the end of a week, I heard a chambermaid say that Colonel Saxby was ill, so, thinks I, that's why he hasn't been in the lift lately. It was a Tuesday night, and I had an uncommonly busy time of it. It was one stream of traffic up and down, and so it went on the whole evening. It was on the strike of midnight, and I was about to put out the light in the lift, lock the door, and leave the key in the office for the man in the morning. When the electric bell rang out sharp, I looked at the dial and saw I was wanted on the 4th floor. It struck 12 as I stepped into the lift. As I passed the 2nd and 3rd floors, I wondered who it could be I wondered who it was that had run so late, and thought it must be a stranger that didn't know the rule of the house. When I stopped at the 4th floor and flung open the door of the lift, Colonel Saxby was standing there wrapped in a military cloak. The door of his room was shut behind him, for I read the number on it. I thought he was ill in his bed, and ill enough he looked, but he had his hat on, and what could a man that had been in bed 10 days want with going out on a winter midnight? I don't think he saw me, but when I'd set the lift in motion, I looked at him under the lamp, with the shadow of his hat hiding his eyes, and the light full on the lower part of his face that was deadly pale, the scar on his cheek showing still paler. "Glad to see you're better, sir," I said. But he said nothing, and I didn't like to look at him again. He stood like a statue with his cloak about him, and I was downright glad when I opened the door of the lift for him to step out in the hall. I saluted as he got out, and he went past me towards the door. "The colonel wants to go out," I said to the porter, who stood staring. And he opened the door, and Colonel Saxby walked out into the snow. "That's a queer go," he said. It is, said I. I don't like the colonel's looks. He doesn't seem himself at all. He's ill enough to be in his bed, and there he is gone out on a night like this. Anyhow, he's got a famous cloak to keep him warm. I say, supposing he's gone to a fancy ball, and that cloak on to hide his dress, said the porter, laughing uneasily, for we both felt queerer than we cared to say, and as we spoke, there came a loud ring at the doorbell. No more passengers for me, I said, and I was really putting the light out this time, when Joe opened the door, and two gentlemen entered that I knew at the glance were doctors. One was tall, and the other was short and stout, and they both came to the lift. Excuse me. Sorry. Sorry, gentlemen, but it's against the rule of the lift to go up after midnight. Nonsense, said the stout gentleman. It's only past 12, and a matter of life and death. Take us up at once to the 4th floor. And they were in the lift like a shot, so up we went, and I opened the door. They walked straight to number 10. A nurse came out to meet them, and the stout doctor said, "No change for the worse, I hope?" And I heard her reply, "The patient died 5 minutes ago, sir." Though I'd no business to speak, that was more than I could stand. I followed the doctors to the door and said, "There's some mistake here, gentlemen. I took the colonel down in a lift since the clock struck 12, and he went out." The stout doctor said sharply, "A case of mistaken identity. It was someone else you took for the colonel." "Begging your pardon, gentlemen, it was the colonel himself, and the night porter that opened the front door for him knew him as well as me. He was dressed for a night like this, with his military cloak wrapped around him. Step in and see for yourself," said the nurse. I followed the doctor into the room, and there lay Colonel Saxby, looking just as I had seen him a few months before. There he lay, dead as, and the great cloak spread over the bed to keep him warm, that would feel heat and cold no more. I never slept that night. I sat up with Joe, expecting every minute to hear the colonel ring the front door bell. The next day, every time the bell for the lift rang sharp and sudden, the sweat broke out on me, and I shook again. I felt as bad as I did the first time I was in action. Me and Joe told the manager all about it, and he'd said we'd been dreaming, but, said he, "Mind you don't talk about it, or the house will be empty in a week." The colonel's coffin was smuggled into the house the next night. Me and the manager and the undertaker's men took it up in the lift, and it lay right across it, not an inch to spare. They carried it into number 210, and while I waited for them to come out again, a queer feeling came over me. Then the door opened softly, and 4 men carried out the long coffin straight across the passage, and set it down with its foot towards the door of the lift. And the manager looked around for me. "I can't do it, sir," I said. "I can't take the colonel down again. I took him down at midnight yesterday, and that was enough for me." "Push it in," said the manager, speaking short and sharp, and they rang the coffin into the lift without a sound. The manager got in last, and before he closed the door, he said, "Mole, you've worked this lift for the last time, it strikes me." And I had, for I wouldn't have stayed at the Empire Hotel after what had happened. Not if they'd doubled my wages, and me and the night porter left together. All right. And that's the end of the story. Which, honestly, that ended up being very, very short. Oh, I need to readjust myself again. There we go. Ooh. Let me look back at chat again. There appears to be some reverb on. I'm so sick of dealing with audio issues on my mic. Why isn't captions working? Okay, there we go. I'm so sick of dealing with audio issues on my mic. I'll deal with it later. Well, I don't think I have streamed for all that long. So we're going to. I'm gonna open Krita and we're gonna do something art related. I can close the window that had the story in it. Honestly, I was expecting my voice to be just as destroyed as it was when I read. What was that story called again? The Telltale Heart. When I read The Telltale Heart, but I guess even though it's also a short story, this one was much shorter, so I'm not. It's not as much of a problem. That's something I could do, I suppose. Uh, there is a PNG Tuber Plus model I was working on. Something else that I've also been meaning to do for a while now is design kind of like a wedding suit type thing for Damien, just as like an alternate outfit, because I think it would look very pretty and cute. But when it comes to character designs, I usually end up starting to like become a bit lazy with them during streams because it's a bit more exhausting to deal with that during a stream. So I think working on like the PNG Tuber Plus model might be the way to go. So let me open that up and then I'll switch over to the thing. Oh, I need to readjust myself again because I am huge. There we go. Capture method. If I use window capture for something like this, where is it? Oh, there it is. Why is window capture huge? A second while I figure out how to resize this real quick. Oh, where is my mouse? Okay. Okay, I think that's about good. The mic is a tinge too soft now. I didn't even adjust it. I didn't adjust it at all. It just keeps on having issue after issue. I'm gonna have to figure out how to deal with it later. So, PNG Tuber Plus model. I ended up making a hello. Okay. I ended up making a little uh base for it, and I guess I technically already made like this for it as well. Um, but before I do any outfits, I need to do some other stuff. So, we're not gonna worry about things like the peoples and stars for now because I need to animate the blank first. What are you making? This is a PNG Tuber Plus model. PNG Tuber Plus is a PNG Tuber program where you can actually kind of rig the model to be, let's say, bouncy when you speak. So it's still like a still image. Well, it's made up of multiple still image because it's layered, but you can make it like bounce and stuff and have like hair physics and other physics. And it has the option to give your character different costumes. Um, some people will usually use the different costumes things to give the characters different expressions. However, because I can't give uh I can't give my model clothing toggles in like live 2D or anything like that, I'm just going to give him the clothing toggles with this instead. So he's only going to have one expression at all times, but it's fine because I can make him wear different things. Yeah, let's not worry about all of that stuff right now. Let's just focus on line art. In fact, let's like remove this other stuff here so it's not as distracting and just focus on the eyes. Oops. Face? When did I click? Okay, there it is. Get rid of the mouth too. Well, oh. I guess I could. I do have PNG Tuber Plus downloaded right now, so I could also show like an example of what a PNG Tuber Plus model looks like. Then stream stuff. There it is. I think it's my old. Oh, why is like the shortcut to it still there then? Apparently, I have this uninstalled, so I don't know why I still have the shortcut. Never mind. I don't feel like having to install a app from Steam right now. So I guess you'll just have to figure out what it looks like later. How many frames? That's 6 frames in between. Though I may end up readjusting it when I actually get it all drawn. Yep, I forgot. Actually, no, keep it on. Keep the eraser on for this one. Then the fully closed eye. Hello? Don't do this shit now. God fucking damn it. Okay. Oh my god, I just. What? I'm on this side. Okay. God. Don't tell me that this is too much for, like, just like an art program. Don't tell me running a fucking art program is too much for my stream right now. Hello? For some reason, it did not register Control-C at first. Why are you doing this? Okay, I'm gonna have to put those closer together. Maybe have like 3 frames in between them. It's a little hard to tell what it's even doing because I guess streaming and I guess my laptop can't handle both streaming and Krita at the same time. But I think it's okay. This looks a little odd. I might need to make like a new thing for this. Shut up, Windows. I think that looks better. And now I can merge this with the one below. I think I may need to also see the skill rod to see what's going on here. Good morning. Hello. Good morning. I already read the story. Now we're just doing some art to fill up more time. Oops. I wonder if I can actually. I wonder if I can rename the streams. I don't know if I can. Well, I probably could, but my problem is more so like, it will take a bit because apparently my laptop does not like when I try to do anything else while streaming. But you know what? Let me see. Okay. Oh, this is gonna be terrible. And art stream. Where is my mouse? Okay, save. YouTube. I cannot read chat while I am renaming these, by the way, so I apologize for that. No, 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 no. We're still. You are so annoying. It will not let me select the same event as before, so I guess I'm going to have to rename it after I'm done with stream. Yep. So let's remove the head again so we can just focus on this. Let's remove the Sierra as well. Select the shadows. I also need to make frames for the shadows. Let's remove the shadow for the islands for now and just focus on filling this up. I'm currently baking a potato. Okay. I hope it's tasty. Duplicate frame. Hello? Greta? Greta? Oh my gosh, this fucking app. Oh my god, my entire. I swear to god, if this crashes and it doesn't save. My entire laptop is frozen right now. I should have just ended the stream. I should have just ended the stream. See, it is not. The one thing that isn't frozen is my mouse, but for some reason it's in a fist shape. I don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. Because I don't think I can restart my laptop either. Because nothing else is responsive. I can take my cursor to the other monitor too. Not like that really matters. And chat is still going. I can still, Boomier, I can still see you chatting, but I can't do anything else. And looking at stream on my phone, it seems that Live 2D is still going just fine. Yeah. Well, if even like drawing streams is too much for OBS, I may end up having to like exclusively do very very small games and just reading. Yeah, everything looks normal. I can't do anything though. Like I can't click on anything. My captions and live duty are still going and chat is still going. That's it. I can't click on anything. I forgot about that message that I put into Botrix, which I should probably make it so that also appears on Twitch because I've kind of forgot about that. We'll fix that later. So I might end up using, I think it's called Nightbot instead. Because the main reason I used Botrix was so I could see chat on screen, but now I just used my TV as another monitor for that. I guess we're just chatting stream now since I can't do anything. Is Control S usually the. Oh. I briefly disconnected, I guess. Connected again. And it reconnected again. I think this might be a sign that I just need to stop stream. I may just need to stop stream. So. It keeps on disconnecting and reconnecting. I'm not even gonna do a whole outro. Honestly, I think this might be a sign that maybe... I think... I think my Twitch account might just be like an account just to... Bye. Bye. We're just ending. We're just ending now. We're just ending now. Because OBS will not work with me. It keeps disconnecting and reconnecting, and